You want a better life. Let's make it real. This is a better life. From scars to stars, from pain to bulletproof, Teresa better life. A better life with you. Talking news, pop culture life, love and scandal, heart to heart. Teresa better life. Real is where the reset starts. No playing small. We rise, we fall. We laugh, we do it all. A better life is one brave call. Teresa better life. Let's build a better life. Let's build a better life. A better life. Teresa better life.
And good evening. I am hoping. Okay. I'm hoping my equipment holds out because I'm having trouble with it and it keeps saying my device is not connected even though it is connected. So I may have to. Yeah, it's not. So I'm having technical issues and my device keeps disconnecting and I'm not quite sure why. So I'm going to try a couple different things. Okay. Welcome. Good evening, everybody. We are waiting for Candace. I'm sure she'll have a lot to say about Erika Kirk's. Well, I don't know about Erika Kirk's interview with Bari Weiss today on CBS. I have some other things I want to share with you with some other creators. Erika Kirk was also speaking with Glenn Beck, so I was going to play that video for you here. Let me get the video file. And right before all of this, everything updated. My computer, my camera, my mic. So we're going to just go with it. Let's see. Okay.
I don't know how you handle this, Eric. I don't know how that.
Okay, that doesn't want to go onto stage. Okay, so what do I do here? Good evening. I am working on
to be dragged into, you were involved in.
Okay, I'm going to rewind. And let's go like this.
I don't know how you handle this, Eric. I don't know how that to be dragged into, you were involved in the death and all this crazy, evil stuff.
No, it's sick.
God bless you.
It's sick.
God bless you. It is.
My family means everything to me. Turning Point USA has always been in our life and has always been so good to Charlie, and Charlie was good to his team. Everyone loved Charlie.
Yeah.
I get that. Everyone wants an answer to this evil. And sometimes the answer is very clear.
Yeah.
The truth is very clear.
Are you worried? Well, one question, and then we'll go into what the real answer is. Are you concerned about his assassin is in court today? Are you concerned about being able to have a jury that's not been tainted?
No, it's a real thing, Glenn, and you get this. A lot of people don't, and I think that we need to do a better job of educating our citizens about our court systems. A lot of people don't know how an actual trial plays. I am very curious about how the United Healthcare case plays out. We are living in a day and age where social media can absolutely.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened with our audio. Let me remove this. I want to make sure we have enough time before Candace goes on. Otherwise, I'll have to play this at the end. Okay. Yes, she is making the rounds, Miss Winnie. She is making the rounds, interviewing to try to debunk all of us, Candace, namely. So let me get this back on stage and see if I can.
I don't know how you
and I'm not understanding why.
I don't know how you handle this.
Okay, here we
Eric.
go.
I don't know how to
Glenn
be
Beck.
dragged into, you were involved in the death and all this crazy, evil stuff.
No, it's sick.
God bless you.
It's sick.
God bless you. It is.
My family means everything to me. Turning Point USA has always been in our life and has always been so good to Charlie, and Charlie was good to his team. Everyone loved Charlie.
Watch her face.
Yeah.
I get that. Everyone wants an answer to this evil. And sometimes the answer is very clear.
Yeah.
The truth is very clear.
Are you worried? Well, one question, and then we'll go into what the real answer is. Are you concerned about his assassin is in court today? Are you concerned about being able to have a jury that's not been tainted?
No, it's a real thing, Glenn, and you get this. A lot of people don't, and I think that we need to do a better job of educating our citizens about our court systems. A lot of people don't know how an actual trial plays out. I am very curious about how the United Healthcare case plays out. We are living in a day and age where social media can absolutely impact. I feel it can. The reason I say that is because I don't want a tainted jury pool. I want justice for my husband. Anytime we have leads, anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. We're not messing around.
Except she has said before, they think they have Tyler Robinson, or they think they have the real killer. It's Tyler Robinson, and case shut, case closed.
None of us are involved in my husband's murder. None of us. Turning Point USA, myself, any of these other crazy accusations, none of us. And so I want our team who's on this case to do what we hired them to do and take.
Okay, so here's my question. I heard this and I'm like, okay, so what team is she saying they hired to do something? And what have they hired that team to do? Which team is she speaking to? And yeah, that makes me wonder what team, because the team of prosecutors, that's not her team. What can they do at this point? And what are they doing? What is she talking about?
Care of this. And the unfortunate part is that everyone's acting as if the case and the trial is going to be tomorrow. It's not. Glenn, you know this. The case is not going to be, in full transparency, we're looking at end of 26, beginning of 27 probably. This is not something that is going to be happening tomorrow. Say that again?
Well, it's. How do you get a jury with that much time and what's happening? And quite honestly, I don't need you to comment on this, but I think mental illness is involved in some of this.
So I wonder who he's calling or who he's saying is mentally ill. Candace, obviously, one, and then the rest of us. And that's what they've been saying this whole time, anyways.
stuff that is online.
Yeah,
I think it's really,
and Glenn, I'll be
honestly,
honest,
I feel bad.
I
It's
am
mentally,
I am not going
it's
to
mental
waste my
illness.
time.
Tim Pool
I'm
is
not going to waste my
mentally
time in combating people, going
Yeah,
toe to toe, calling people names. I just, that's just not me. That's not how Charlie operated. There's no reason for me to go down a dark place like that. I'm so tired of the fracture. What drives me nuts is that Charlie, he has worked and provided and has blessed us with so much, like literally his book. He has blessed us with so much wisdom, so much. He's just such a good thought leader. He blessed us with laser focus on the mission, on saving this country. But instead, we're so focused on who did what. Like, yes, we will
who
figure
killed
all that out.
Charlie?
Yes, this is a murder case. He did not die in a car crash. Yes, that will be handled. But my husband's legacy is not about his murder. My husband's legacy is what he left behind.
Okay. So his legacy is what he left behind. Okay. Yeah. But he was taken. And she wants us to wait. She's like telling us that the trial isn't going to happen for, maybe year 2 down the road. And so we don't need to worry about it right now. I'm pretty sure cases are made before the case starts, before it actually goes to trial. So yeah, we need to be working on it. Let's see. Erika has never seen the murder. Yeah, she said, and she's glad she didn't. That would be rough to see. Let's see. What does Jeff say? That's playing with fire if Beck calls Candace mentally ill. This whole interview is a Republican tactic. Yes, it is. It's a tactic. And so once they don't get their way, then they start going at people's, if you know anything about the brainwashing and that, they try to make you feel like you're crazy. You're wrong. When that doesn't work, then the next tactic is you've lost it mentally. And I think them saying that definitely could affect some people to turn away. And at least today, so on her Bari Weiss interview today, she actually had tears, but she didn't have her little handkerchief. So let me see if I can get that. Let me see.
I
want to remove that. I want to add something else. Remove. Okay, I'm going to share another. So I'll share her. This is quick.
Okay? The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's.
Hold on. I don't know why this is moved. Remove. I don't know. Sorry, guys. The update had sent something. Oh, that's why I was doing that. Okay.
Okay? The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her?
Candace has already built a business. She didn't need this to build a business.
And the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now. Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop. The podcast.
Okay. That's all she had to say. Stop. Okay, Candace is going to get ready to go on here pretty soon. But what do you guys think? Do you think we should stop? So I'm trying to think, who was it she was crying on? So she wasn't crying there. Did you guys see the interview where she actually had a lot of tears? And Oh, was that yesterday? It's all it's all blending together, but she actually had some real tears, which is what we wanted to see. But I feel like that was an act. We'll look at it again at the end, because you could see her working herself up to, she had all smile, and then all of a sudden went straight mad, angry face, and then she was slowly revving herself up to give us this really dramatic and angry, upset person's behavior. So Jeff says it was the same interview, just a longer version. Oh, okay. So yeah, so she did. Yeah, she had tears, but she didn't have her handkerchief with her. Like, she actually had real tears, so she must have been working pretty hard on that. Yeah. Miss Winnie said she cried. Yeah. Okay, Candace is on. Let's go. Let's go. Social media is widely supportive of Candace. So I don't know how much the broader public is paying attention and is buying all of this, or if they're with us, because, us on social media, I think we're a little bit of a different, I would say a different breed, because we're not listening to cable news. So I'm wondering what people who aren't on social media a lot, who do rely on legacy media for their news, and if they're buying it, because now that CBS is covering it, TMZ reported on Tim Pool, which is so crazy. So they're going after that right-leaning media to help drive home the message that we all should shut up, that we're all crazy, that Candace is crazy, and they're doing everything that they can do to continue this investigation. Yeah. Hi, Cisco. Yeah, many people are too busy with work and family to care about the news. Well, that, and they're busy, but when they do turn it on and it's cable news, they're only getting, little snippets and the headlines that they want. People are headline readers too, so they'll read the headline, think that sums it all up, and we know it doesn't. So yeah, I'm really interested to know. And Candace had made a good point yesterday that they're elitists and they're playing to a crowd of their own, that we are just, the public. So like when she was talking to Glenn Beck, we need to do a better job educating the public on how court systems work and how legal processes work. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Jeff says, yes, it's sad. Most folks only have time for 30-second snips on TV. Exactly. And if they look at social media, just the, quick headlines of that as well. When Candace first comes on, I'll probably take a second. I'll put it on full screen and take a second, because since I was dealing with all the updates, everything decided to go ahead and update, and my camera wasn't working right, so I had to update everything. I didn't have time to do a little bit of the bio stuff that I normally do beforehand. And I wanted to tell you guys, some in one of the comments on past videos, they were concerned that me doing a live watch party was going to interfere and take something away from Candace. I've got word and information that what happens is all of that revenue will go to Candace, since we're doing her show live here. So I'm going to unmute Candace.
I am just annoyed with everybody. I'm annoyed with this entire psychological operation that is so obvious. And I just feel like we keep going round and round in a circle with the government, whether it's COVID, the Ukraine war, it's like the entire media apparatus and establishment is joining hands to condemn people for having common sense. So I'll ask you a question to begin this. Do you feel, show of hands, okay, that the answer regarding who killed Charlie Kirk and what happened on September 10th is quote unquote very clear. Objectively. Like, even if you are somebody who is on the side of those who do believe that Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger one way or another, would you ever describe what happened as quote unquote very clear? I'm guessing your answer to that would be no. I am asking you that because Erika Kirk believes it to be so. And I guess this is kind of the final stop. I'm hoping it's the final stop of this PR campaign where they are now pivoting and bringing Erika out to signal to the public that we can't question her judgment, right? Because she's a widow, we can't question her judgment. And I want to say that I reject that. I reject emotional manipulation. I want to give people at home the permission to avoid a trap of thinking that you have to arrive at the same conclusions as Erika Kirk, especially when the story that we have been presented thus far makes little sense, if any sense. It makes, I think, virtually no sense. To that end, later on in the show, we will discuss Tyler Robinson, who has now made his first in-person appearance in court. And I guess the good news there is that we know he exists. Welcome back to Candace.
He's alive. But they didn't want to allow his family in on that hearing that happened today, or that appearance.
Let's just start with the talking points. Let's join the members of the press and the influencers, okay? Here's what we're saying. Let's be influenced. Talking points. There's a bigger mission at bay. We need to focus on a larger, bigger mission. Another talking point. It's going to ruin the trial. If you guys keep thinking that things don't make sense, you could ruin the case.
Yeah.
And the final stop, of course, in these talking points is this is an illness, right? There's something wrong with you at home if you don't find what we are telling you to be true. Trust us, okay? You're mentally unwell. What we are looking at right now is a badly run PR campaign. I am saying that it is badly run because it's recognizable. A good PR campaign is not recognizable. A bad PR campaign is an obvious one. And I am going to request respectfully, I know it's not going to be honored, I'm going to respectfully request that all of these Agent Smiths in this obvious matrix just stop, okay? This PR campaign, it's been nonstop. Since Charlie was shot. It was honestly dead on arrival, okay? We do not trust this. We do not believe this. And yet we are wildly kind of in this position where they're testing to see how many times they can say the same thing before they convince everybody else at home that it's true, okay? Their equation that they seem to be running, if it's that formula, is talking points multiplied by 10,000 talking heads must equal results. Okay? They believe that with enough of an echo, they can override basic human instinct, basic intellect, really. There is, I would like to be very clear, nothing that feels right to me about the Charlie Kirk assassination, and especially the way that some of his employees and friends have been behaving since that assassination. And I'll preface this with, I am very sorry if that offends you, Erika. Genuinely, I am sorry that there is no amount of increase in pressure and propaganda and headlines written about me that are going to convince me. And by the way, I'm just the conduit, right? You're attacking me, but you're angry that also the masses have not accepted this.
Yes.
There's not a number that is going to convince the masses that his human neck, stopped a 30-06 bullet. Okay. And not even just stop the bullet. I also want to be clear here. It's not just that they're saying that it ricocheted and it stopped, and this would maybe be the first time in human history. And please, if you do know a story, you've got an old article, I don't care where it's from, if you saved a newspaper article from the early 1900s in your family of an example, I don't think that bullet existed then, but like of a 30-06 being stopped by a human neck, please present it. I'd like to show that it is possible, right? It is actually, this happened one time down in Texas. It's possible. But not only are they saying that they stopped it, but I want to remind you that there was minimal damage to the front of Charlie's neck as well. Okay. There was minimal damage to the front of Charlie's neck as well. So it didn't even cause a lot of, damage as it went in. It just cleanly went in and then ricocheted downward into his stomach. I'm frustrated, obviously, for a lot of reasons, but Erika's that's now being teased, the interview with Bari Weiss, it's being termed a town hall. And Bari is obviously just a Tel Aviv agent. Her entire background story, her rise, her studying in Tel Aviv, her family ties, the hand of Midas pulling her through the ranks a la Jeffrey Epstein. Despite her sub-average intelligence, she's not interesting. She somehow becomes a chief over at CBS News. Right? This actually, what I'm saying about Bari Weiss, this gets into Tucker's quote unquote problematic speech at SAS when he jumped on stage and basically asked that question. How are all of these subpar people becoming billionaires? The rest of us have to work forever. They're not interesting. They're not talented. And they just seemingly are just getting all of this money and opportunities offered to them. This is clearly not a meritocracy that we're living under. It feels more like, and I'm saying this, more like a cartel. Okay, Bari Weiss is actually one of the people that we should study when it comes to being unimpressive and just getting handouts anyways. It's like welfare. I feel like she's on welfare. Like we all have to work.
Apparently, Bari Weiss did auditioned for The View, and she was unable to pass their intelligence test or something like that. Apparently, they give them this IQ test, and she was unable to pass, so they did not choose her for The View.
And she gets promoted. And she's going to be unimpressive in this clip because that's her default. She can't even convincingly ask the prepared, loaded question that she is going to deliver to Erika. And this question, like I said, has likely, by the way, been reviewed and marked up by lawyers, but she still is not even convincing, despite having it ahead of time in this delivery. Take a listen.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
So this is just, to me, I'm going to also let you know, they pre-recorded this. Obviously, I told you this yesterday from about 11 o'clock to 4 p.m. I have sources just everywhere, CBS News. The people that were in the audience I showed you were emailing me, and they had to do multiple takes because Bari wanted to read a prompter. These questions were pre-submitted, okay? And I would like to respond to this loaded question. What would you like to say? The podcaster Candace Owens, and I'm not even going to address this repeat talking point about people making money, except for the people that have actually made off of all of the money, millions upon millions of dollars. But this is the new thing. It's like if you keep doing what you were already doing in podcasting, or keep doing what you were already doing and doing ballistics on YouTube, if you catch a bunch of views, they want to convince you that like you wake up and you turn into a millionaire. Building her business. What are you talking about? I already had this business.
Yeah.
I was already at the top of the charts. Okay, I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I actually did because it's so ridiculous. Okay. But she says, I'm lying. And Erika responds, and her answer to what do you want to say to the podcaster Candace Owens who is lying is stop. So Erika would like me to stop lying. And I would like to honor that. Okay. I can only honor that if Erika is more explicit in terms of what I have lied about.
Oh,
what did I lie about?
Good.
It's just incredible. There have this opportunity. The questions have been preferred. You could just start like going through them. Maybe they will. By the way, it's coming out on Saturday. Maybe I've made a mistake somewhere and I'm happy. I want to correct that, right? I'm not interested. My goal is not to tell lies. It is obviously plausible that I have made mistakes. I've reviewed these lists that we've put together, and I can't find the lie. Okay. The lies that I find are coming out of Turning Point USA. Okay. And here are some of those lies. You know, Mikey had blood all over him. Okay. Mikey has offered that his dad was confused. I'll accept that. Well, I didn't lie about that. Rob McCoy lied. His father also said he called his father first. Maybe Rob McCoy was confused. Mikey being a hero for walking away doesn't feel honest. Charlie's neck stopping a 30-06 bullet because he ate healthy and had strong bones. It was a modern day Christian miracle. That feels like a pretty big lie. Okay. Charlie never wavered in his support for Israel was a nasty lie. Maybe Bari want to prep. Like, what do you want to say to the people that literally lied about what Charlie was living through in the last weeks of his life? Stop, Josh Hammer. Stop, Bibi Netanyahu. No, I'm sorry. Bari Weiss is here. We're not going to get to that. Charlie was a committed evangelical who only liked Catholic architecture. Did I lie about that? Nope. Turning Point USA lied about that. And I was attacked for telling me, I'm attacked for catching the lies. We'll get to that later. That's their new method. Once first they accuse me of lying, then I prove I'm not lying. And then their strategy is to attack me for telling the truth and saying, how dare you reveal a personal text message to defend yourself from being called a liar.
Yeah.
We can keep going here. Has any of this been clarified? Ben Shapiro said they never had any bad blood between them. I proved that was not true. Again, that also came from a little PR. Alex Clark pulling that move. Next page, Terrell Farnsworth was told to remove that SD card by police. That was not true. Terrell Farnsworth personally told me that was not true. Terrell removed the SD cards because people were stealing hats. Again, not what Terrell Farnsworth himself told me. And also doesn't make any logical sense because if you were worried about theft, you would have taken the cameras and not just the SD card, particularly from the camera behind his head, as opposed to the cameras that were in front of him. Lie. Charlie established a Doge and it was not unusual. That's a lie. It was unusual. Doge didn't even exist prior to Elon Musk making that a thing about government accountability. Charlie Kirk's team did not fly drones. Major lie. Brian Harpole told that lie. Brian Harpole also told a major lie when he said that the security had communicated with UVU police to secure those rooftops. That was a lie. It was actually the walkway behind. What am I getting here?
Yeah.
What have I done here in this presentation that I lied about? Have I made mistakes along the way? Yes, I'm not perfect, and I will always adjust those mistakes. So I'm asking you to tell me what I lied about. Why is there not this same energy also for the feds? Because they've told some lies. We've got a list of those too. We put that together. We would like some clarity. Again, Charlie being shot with a 30-06. The lover text messages mysteriously presented without any timestamps. Lying about how Tyler Robinson was arrested. They claim that he confessed and turned himself in. That's not what happened. That he said he was guilty. All of his, father said he was guilty. That's not what happened. Never revealed that Tyler Robinson was at the Dairy Queen following the assassination. He was throwing clothes away, as I presented to you guys, in the cemetery. That's problematic to the timeline. We'd like some clarity. That's an oddity. They said Tyler Robinson was arrested wearing a maroon shirt. That actually was also not true. They said Tyler Robinson was suicidal, but also turned himself in because he was afraid of being shot by police. Those two ideas seem to be running into each other. How can both of these things be true? Did he want to die or not want to die? Maybe there's an explanation. It's definitely odd. And the footage mysteriously missing of Tyler Robinson turning himself in. And then, of course, there's just like things that we can't get answers to, which is the Egyptian planes, tracking Charlie, following Erika throughout years. Instead, they're laughing at these things. So what am I lying about? Explicitly lying about? Not made a molecular or a minor mistake. We've got a time zone wrong. And then it's like, she lied. The plane left a couple of hours earlier. Maybe somewhere I made a mistake on a timeline of Charlie being here on this day when he's actually there on that day. But I'm talking like, where am I lying? Because I would like to stop if you...
And mistakes happen on all investigations, like even the professionals.
You can tell me, okay? And maybe they will. Maybe we'll get to that on Saturday. And by the way, to be clear, I am also telling the truth. It is not my opinion that these questions were pre-selected. It's a fact. It's a fact. Like I said, we have insiders. The questions were pre-selected. And one of the pre-selected questions was for Erika, and this will come out on Saturday, setting the stage for her to condemn anti-Semitism, to which she responds and speaks about, as I told you yesterday, how Turning Point will be hosting a Shabbat dinner. And in case the direction of travel for CBS under the stewardship of Bari Weiss is not clear, they even brought in during this town hall the father of the young woman who was shot in DC at the Jewish Museum. I think that was an IDF soldier. I might be wrong about that. They also brought out Hunter Kozak, who asked the last question to Charlie Kirk. They filled the audience with people selected by CBS, college Republicans, with questions selected by CBS. So it just is objectively a controlled and a managed situation, a controlled and a managed conversation, if you will. But, and you can predict this, if you are at home this Saturday and you watch this and you're just, you know, a regular old person around the world and you go, this feels really scripted. The influencers are going to come out and they're going to mark you as evil, demonic even. How dare you? Question, what? Are you kidding me? This is like, you're not allowed to say that this feels scripted ever, even though this entire thing since September 10th feels scripted to me. But that's not it. Okay, we're going to get more because Erika also sat down with Glenn Beck of Blaze TV. Now, again, this is all a part of a PR blitz for Charlie's upcoming book on honoring the Shabbat, which I'm not going to be doing because I'm Christian. So I'd like to already just say no. Okay. Anyways, Glenn Beck's interview has a bunch of high points, if you will. Foremost, Erika stressing that she believes that the truth is clear. Take a listen.
I don't know how you handle this, Eric. I don't know how to be dragged into, you know, you were involved in the death and all this crazy, evil stuff.
No, it's sick.
God bless you.
It's sick.
God bless you. It is.
My family means everything to me. Turning Point USA has always been in our life and has always been so good to Charlie, and Charlie was good to his team. Everyone loved Charlie.
Yeah.
I get that. Everyone wants an answer to this evil. And sometimes the answer is very clear.
Yeah.
The truth
You know,
is very clear.
So I just want to say to, first and foremost, Glenn setting that question up, I can't find to this day, because this just feels to me to be like the ultimate straw man, any commentator that has explicitly accused Erika of killing Charlie Kirk. I've seen psychological manipulation of influencers trying to say that if you critique Turning Point, that's akin to accusing Charlie Kirk of Erika Kirk of killing her husband, which is utterly ridiculous. But I have never seen, and maybe I missed it, I've seen a lot, somebody come out and say Erika Kirk murdered Charlie. But that's what they set up always, which is like, I don't know how you are. I've seen people digging into her background. I've seen people speaking about her Romanian charity. I've seen people looking into her mother, all of that. I've seen all of that, but I have not yet seen where this idea that they keep trying to seed into our minds that asking any questions is it's equivalent to accusing her of murder. Even that feels manipulative to me. Then comes in this totally organic question from Glenn Beck. Totally organic, right? And this is going to be the extreme appeal to authority, which is, okay, if we don't want to answer any questions, we're just going to say you don't understand how the court works. You shouldn't be asking questions because that could potentially ruin the upcoming trial. Take a listen.
And they need to teach us.
Are you concerned about his assassin is in court today? Are you concerned about being able to have a jury that's not been tainted?
No, it's a real thing, Glenn, and you get this. A lot of people don't, and I think that we need to do a better job of educating our citizens about our court systems. A lot of people don't know how an actual trial plays out. I am very curious about.
They need to educate the citizens. I heard that, and about I was sick. Do you guys know we don't know stuff? Like, okay. Okay, that just makes me so mad. Like way up here at the top of the hill, we got to teach them down there because they don't know. Pat on the head. They're okay. Candace is evil and she's just leading all these poor people, these poor dumb people astray with her sorcery.
About how the United Healthcare case plays out. We are living in a day and age where social media can absolutely impact. I feel it can. The reason I say that is because
Thank goodness. Thank goodness
I don't
it
want
can.
a tainted jury pool. I want justice for my husband. Anytime we have leads, anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. We're not messing around. None of us are involved in my.
Again, I want to say, I said this at the beginning when I played this. If they have the killer, if they have the shooter, then what leads are they getting? And why are they handing them over if this case is done? Like, that's it. Okay.
Husband's murder. None of us. Turning Point USA, myself, any of these other crazy accusations, none of us.
Okay, so this is what I mean, where I just feel like we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again in politics, where you can just apply any situation. Like it's how it starts. It's like they come up with a narrative and it feels really stupid. You could like apply this to COVID, whatever. And then people start asking questions because it feels really stupid. And then they tell you like, oh, I wish you guys were more educated about
the science.
I wish you guys were more educated about doctors and nurses and like
Disease.
you're just not there. I wish we could explain to you how these things work, but you're going to have to trust the experts. And yeah, I actually think that also because you guys are not trusting the experts, we're going to have to censor people on social media as they did during COVID because social media is problematic. Actually, the problem is free speech ultimately, right? Like the problem is that you have people on social media who are talking common sense and they don't understand this. Okay. That's like, that doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me and it shouldn't work for you.
And we're talking to each other and they don't want that either.
And this next portion is where we get into the mass formation psychosis element, which is when they're trying to modify our behavior, the behavior of the masses, and they kind of want us to all form around this idea. And this is kind of actually the we're all in this together psychology that you're about to see, right? The higher calling element of the psychological conditioning. You guys are focusing on the minutia of that day and whether or not the government is involved with assassinating Charlie Kirk. But, you know, Tim Pool's telling you guys there's midterms and there's things that's the higher calling, right? The masses should get around that higher calling. Like, even if it goes against your gut to mask your toddler, even if it goes against your gut to let your grandma die alone in a hospital, even if something is screaming at you and you're saying, why does this all feel abusive? Like abusive to toddlers, abusive to our grandparents, let them die alone. Why does it feel to me, my instinct tells me that we shouldn't put medical masks on toddlers who can't see expressions? Well, the higher calling is that you should always ignore your gut, right? Because we're all in this together and there's something bigger that we can aspire to. You should violate your gut instinct. And that's what's coming next. Take a listen.
I don't need you to comment on this, but I think mental illness is involved in some of this stuff that is online.
Yeah,
I think it's really,
and Glenn,
honestly,
I'll be honest,
I feel bad.
I am not going to
it's
waste
mental
my
illness.
time. Yeah, I'm not going to waste my time in combating people, going toe to toe, calling people names. That's just not me. That's not how Charlie operated. There's no reason for me to go down a dark place like that. I'm so tired of the fracture. What drives me nuts is that Charlie, he has worked and provided and has blessed us with so much, like literally his book. He has blessed us with so much wisdom, so much, he's just such a good thought leader. He blessed us with laser focus on the mission on saving this country. But instead, we're so focused on who did what. Like, yes, we will figure all that out.
Who
Yes,
killed
this is a
Charlie?
murder case. He did not die in a car crash. Yes, that will be handled. But my husband's legacy is not about his murder. My husband's legacy is what he left behind.
I just reject that. Okay, I reject that there's a higher calling that we need to all get around, and the legacy of actually the legacy, if we find out that the government is implicated, and it looks like to me, and I think a lot of people on the outside,
She does. And that's how I know it was her who orchestrated the tweet out at midnight, inviting Candace on to the show, onto the Charlie Kirk show, give her a 24-hour notice, and then treat her like a child when she doesn't respond. It was so obvious.
the government is implicated. Otherwise, it wouldn't require every department of the government using propaganda to convince us against common sense. Okay. And if we find out that the government is implicated, then actually his legacy is going to be that a person who gave all of himself
Yeah.
to helping people get elected, all of himself to this political machine, was ultimately killed by it. And I think that matters to a lot of people. And I think it's obvious it matters to a lot of people because what feels like $1 billion campaign of propaganda against it doesn't seem to be working. There is something very big that we are very close to unpacking here. And the panic that we sense right now in deploying what feels to me to be a really nasty emotional tactic here, basically trying to say to people, how dare you go against the grieving widow? How dare you go against David Hogg, right? And you're like, well, I don't know if David Hogg, I know I'm very sad, obviously, that a school shooting happened. The Parkland shooting at high school should not happen. No child should have to live through that. But why does that mean David Hogg gets to go to Harvard? Right? Does that make sense? Like, does he belong at Harvard? And they go, oh, how dare, how you evil, demonic person. Are you possessed? How could you ever question his authority and whether or not he's equipped to run the charity and speak on, gun issues? He survived a school shooting. That's what they're doing right now. And I want to also say that why I don't love these interviews, and I say this with great deference to Erika. And in the beginning with some of these interviews, I said, look, like, of course, they're going to want to make sure they screen these questions. Like, she's going through a lot. Like, she's transitioning, she's doing this. I wouldn't want to be in her position. We're 3 months in now. Okay. We are still getting rehearsed answers. And I feel like what is missing from all of this is, I don't know, like passion, normal passion, not this like chat GBT feeling of, well, we all need to unite around the mission.
Scripted.
It's like, no, I don't really care about cash. I would just be like, what is the borough doing? What has anybody traced this down? Okay, I don't know if Candace is crazy, but she says the French Foreign Legion was there. Has anybody chased this down? I texted her, I got this information. Okay, it's wrong. That's a dead end. Let me move over here. I've got files. I'm going to run this investigation alongside you, Cash. And I don't know what he's doing. I want like one critique of the FBI, one critique of anything which the public is saying is worthy of critique. Like, it's almost like you're dressing down public perception. Like, people think that you can have enough money to just cut over people's gut instincts. That's what it is. It feels like we're so rich, you don't have the right to think. Okay? We are rich enough to remove that. So stop thinking.
And
the
educated.
elites are here.
Yeah.
It feels elite.
We've got this.
That's why I hate this. It
We've
feels
got
elite.
this.
It feels like the opposite of whatever turning point felt like when they were the underdogs, right? This entire presentation is elite. I'm on CBS stage with pre-packed questions and Bari Weiss, and I obviously have rehearsed this answer because I got these questions ahead of time. I obviously know I'm going to get asked this, so I'm going to do I don't even and this is a fact. You can ask anybody who's ever interviewed me. I never ask for questions ahead of time. I don't want to know. I don't want to know the direction it's going into. I never give them anything. I never say we can't talk about this. Nothing's off record, because even getting questions ahead to me, preparing answers feels fake and gay.
It is.
Right? That just feels rehearsed, because it is. It has to be rehearsed. You got the questions ahead of time. And at this stage, I don't like it. I don't like it. I want something that feels anywhere where it feels authentic. Like one question mark that you have, you're like, oh, like I'd like you to be like, I don't know about those text messages. I think Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger, but the text messages are weird. It's just, I trust my team. My team is amazing. And my favorite date is April 24th, because it's not too hot and it's not too cold. And all you need is a light jacket. Like it feels fake. It does. I'm sorry.
It's highly produced.
I am still interested in getting basic answers to our questions. I don't accept that that's somehow going to ruin the court case, because that's a nonsense. You cannot logically explain to the public how letting us see Mikey McCoy's phone records is just one example. If that's really causing you so much grief, here they are. Here's who we called on that day and for how long. How would that implicate? How would that frustrate your lawyer's efforts? How?
And did we ever get answers about why they paved over the entire part of that roof? Like, has anybody heard anything? I haven't heard anything about that in so long. But certainly nothing from the FBI about it. Like, okay. Anyways.
Would the current court case and the jury pool be impacted if you answered about why these Egyptian planes, why it's a statistical anomaly for these Egyptian planes to be surrounding Turning Point USA, Faith events, you and Charlie this many times? How would that impact? And again, I'm a gut player. It's common sense. So forgive me for not being elite enough and educated enough and expert enough to understand how it would impact things. Explain it to me like I'm not a legal expert, you know? Like I don't trust legal experts. I think they're all full of shit. Explain it to me that way.
Ooh,
it's not tracking. It's not tracking. And I get it. It's me against the whole world. Actually, it's not. It's me against the elites. We've done this a lot of times. Like I said, Ukraine, COVID, there's a formula here. There's a pattern here. If all of the mainstream apparatus and all of the influencers are pushing something and calling the other thing evil, we're probably about 2 years away from them all then apologizing and being like, I just got it wrong. I shouldn't have told you to get the vaccine. It's a pattern that I've noticed. So I'm going to stick with saying that what happened on September 10th, we are not getting the truth about. We will be back after a few messages from our sponsors. All right, you guys, when they double down on abortion.
So I'm wondering how long it will take them to try to shut us all up on this case. Like, what are they going to do? Because nobody's going to stop talking. I don't believe we're going to stop talking. I don't believe Candace is going to stop talking. So their only other choice, if this doesn't work, is to lock down social media, which they're already doing a bit of. But that's their only other choice. Let's see. Cisco says, they said because they were in a hurry to fancy up the area to honor Charlie, which has zero logic, and everyone knows it's BS. Yeah. So didn't they honor him at the memorial at the commercial for the Republican National Convention unofficially? Yeah. Noahide laws. I'm not sure I know what that means. I'm not sure I know what that means, Miss Winnie. I might be stupid. They might be right about me. No, I don't know what that means. Yeah, the goal is to buy X. It's to buy it all. And they're trying to get Instagram as well. And like the video I showed yesterday, they said it's a social networking event that they sent all those pastors to, the 1,000 pastors that they sent to Israel to train them on the Israel agenda, send them out and convert everybody else. Yeah. Okay. Candace is back.
are too rich. We are elite, we are rich, we are powerful, we have connections, and you guys are just beneath us. There's like an element of feudalism here. Like, we are the lords, and who are you? Who are you? We can afford this, and we're gonna keep pushing, and until you believe what we say happened, even when it just makes no sense. It's frustrating. Like, I'm frustrated by it. And again, I have been clear. I think Tyler Robinson was involved on that day. I think there were multiple people that were involved in that day. Obviously, multiple were involved. I think he took clothes and hid them in the cemetery or whatever next to the Dairy Queen. But I don't think that he was on campus that day. I do not believe Tyler Robinson was on campus that day. And I would just also like to point out how easy it would be for them to give us anything believable. Help me out, guys. Again, I'm not a legal expert. I'm Glenn Beck understands this stuff, but who am I? I'm so sorry, Glenn. I don't explain it to us. But I don't understand how, if they just released a video of him taking the shot, because there's video of that, how would that ruin their case? How would that not support their case, actually? And also support their case with the public? Like, that would be the first thing I would do, rather than try to deploy this propaganda effort. You could just present something solid, like something that isn't flimsy in this entire thing. And I think that would be my call. I would just be like, here you go. There you are. Happy for you to see it. He took the shot, and you're going to see Tyler Robinson jump down, and it's not going to impact our case, because how could it? It's open and shut. He wrote out his entire confession. You're seeing the footage. Nope, they can't do that. Well, guys, I'm happy to learn that Tyler Robinson is not AI, because that it's been so weird that we just can't see anything about him. Obviously, I'm being tongue in cheek, but he has finally appeared in person. He made his first in-person court appearance. Kind of seemed like he was smiling. I did not get the energy of someone who is worried about getting the electric chair. There's nothing really to add here. There wasn't anything that really came out of this hearing. Everything is obviously very preliminary at this stage. This is going to take a long time, but we're obviously hoping that they are going to allow transparency and accessibility to the case by allowing the media in there. Media organizations, even for this case, are requesting the transcript of the hearing, and hopefully we will have more. But he exists, okay? We'll keep you posted. In other news, or things that I'm frustrated about, is just more than the people who hate me and are dedicated every minute, because apparently they're allowed to get clicks off of my name.
Right.
I'm not allowed to talk about what I want to talk about on my show, but they can talk about what they want to talk about over and over and over again on their show. But I reserve more contempt for the people who don't have the courage to just hate me and instead try to hide behind Bible verses. There is something that deeply and spiritually bothers me about that. And chief among them is Allie Beth Stuckey, okay? She presents herself.
Yeah, he had that hearing today, Tyler, and they had asked that his family be allowed in that, and the judge said no. So if he's not even allowing family in, even at the very beginning, who knows what's going to happen, but it doesn't look like we're going to see any kind of transparency, even for the hearing. We'll see.
Like, her brand is squeaky clean Christianity, does a lot behind the scenes. She's hired like a monster PR agent. Anyone will tell you that. There's not a single Daily Wire host, Matt Walsh, Michael knows, nicest people ever, Brett Cooper, that will defend Allie Beth Stuckey's current PR agent, who is just literally hell-bent on advancing Israel's cause by any means necessary, like by sending someone to follow me after I was no longer employed there, to try to make me look bad on camera. She keeps files and cuts people out of context and then sends it to people like Ian Miles Chong. I mean, this is a bad person who Allie Beth has hired, but we're supposed to believe Allie Beth is Christian. Anyways, I do want to point to this because she's now, no, it's always biblical. So you can never question whether or not she's just being a mean girl and using Bible verses to qualify being mean. But yesterday we peaked because she's now moved to being a teacher and letting you know that not trusting the mainstream narrative actually is, it's a rhetorical device that was used during BLM. Let's just read her post here. This really annoyed me. And even further, the comment section annoyed me. But she wrote, in 2020, we all became familiarized with the Kafka trap. It's a rhetorical trick wherein you insist that someone's denial of an accusation proves their guilt. You're denying you're a racist because of your white fragility. It's a way to make your arguments irrefutable without ever having to provide evidence. BLM uses this tactic repeatedly, and now Candace has taken a page out of their book. Anyone, including Charlie's own wife, who pushes back against her conspiracies are only doing so because it's a psyop. They're getting paid. It couldn't possibly be that people sincerely disagree with her methods or can disprove her faulty logic. It's an effective, albeit dishonest, way to solidify yourself as the only champion of truth. Now, first and foremost, this is a very unfortunate example for her to use BLM, saying that 2020 taught us that many people fall for this type of thing, because the truth is most people don't want to think. Actually, Allie, ironically, I actually did the documentary on BLM and George Floyd. And the lessons of the George Floyd movement was that the entire media plus influencers can collude to suspend rational thinking and can use emotional arguments, right, to get you to stop looking at a corrupt charity. I can't believe she used this example. It's like, there's nothing more that could be in my defense than saying, oh, remember what happened in 2020? Yeah, I do remember what happened in 2020. The media lied about George Floyd. They lied about how he died. A video went viral. Every influencer posted black squares, called people racist, said you were with them or you're against them. You were evil if you didn't understand how far racism had become. And then little old me did a video, and I disrupted this narrative by telling people the facts about George Floyd's background, his record. I then did a documentary on it, and I revealed to the world that the media actually is to blame. Like, they will collude with each other. These are powerful organizations. They can make something go viral. They can make evil look like good and good look like evil. That is actually the true lesson of corporate structure versus really just a few truth tellers, people who are actually willing and dared to question that narrative. Okay. Now, my issue is that when people push back on her, she just pulls out the Bible. Okay. Like, for example, this is in the comments section. Somebody wrote to her because she's been sniping at me and it's been very mean girl-esque. This person wrote this on Instagram. They wrote in the comment section, you keep inserting yourself into this topic, but you never add any real value. So what is the agenda for you here? Candace wasn't even mean to you when you inserted yourself the first time. So mean girl energy, like, that's a fair question. She does have mean girl energy. Then she says, oh, Britt, I comment on the news. Charlie was my good friend. No one commenting on this story is inserting themselves any more than Candace is. You don't see value in learning how to decipher truth logically and biblically, and that's okay. Like, that sentence, just play it again.
And that's okay.
You don't see the value in learning how to decipher truth logically and biblically, and that's okay. My content is not for you then. How does that not just make your skin crawl? I don't know. Like, does that not make your skin crawl? Just be snipey and petty. Stop using the Bible as a shield for what you're doing, okay? That woman accurately called you out. I don't know her. Thank you for saying it's very obvious what you're doing. To come back and say, I'm so sorry that you don't like the Bible. I'm so sorry that you don't like the Bible. She is like Salve Regina George, right? Like, Mean Girls was fine because we all knew Regina George was mean and she was like proud of that. Allie Beth Stuckey does the same like tactic of attacking people, sniping them. And then she's like, I'm sorry you don't like the Bible. I actually do like the Bible. You know, I haven't made Christianity my brand because I'm a Catholic and I don't believe that women can be priests and should be playing the part of pastors. I believe that if I have a question about the Bible, I should go to my priest, not to Allie Beth Stuckey on Instagram. But what I can say to you is that a main takeaway is the truth. You should commit yourself to the truth. And Allie Beth Stuckey has gone through great pains to cover up for people that are lying. Okay. No one worse than Josh Hammer. Okay. Josh Hammer explicitly lied about Charlie's state of mind. He went on multiple podcasts. He called me a liar. He never blinked on Israel. If I did not release that text message, that would have been the narrative. If you are a Christian and you purport to have been a good friend to Charlie, that's low-hanging fruit to say what Josh Hammer did here was wrong. Okay. She says she's a good friend to Charlie, but when similarly I came out and said a thing about the Catholic faith, if you were a good friend, wouldn't you have said, you know what, Alex Clark, that whole little episode saying Charlie only liked architecture for what it's worth, it wasn't true. You wouldn't be running PR for her. If you were a friend to Charlie and you were committed to truth, then when Ben Shapiro lied and said that he never had any issues with Charlie, and I said that's not true, it's very, very much not true, why is your reaction every time that I expose the lie to attack me? That's what she does. I'm going to show you a clip. All of these people have been caught in verifiable lies. And let's be clear, they attacked me first. I never came out and attacked these people. I just said, oh, the Catholic thing was cool, and I was hoping for that. Or, as Ben came out and said that he was good with Charlie or whatever and was doing a show. That's not true. That actually is not true. And all these people just attacked me for saying, oh, he had some issues with Israel in the end. Watch Allie, how manipulative it is that she is going to defend those characters who are lying and say that it's problematic that I am telling the truth after I've been lied on. Look at this clip.
She's released a bunch of texts about Ben between her and between Charlie, and, you know, basically saying that they didn't like Ben very much back in the day, 7 years ago. And I just will say, like, yeah, I would hate someone to, like, after I die, to reveal texts like that, like, between us, because those texts didn't make Ben look bad. They made Charlie look bad. They made Charlie look bad.
So
and, like,
manipulative.
That's
She's
your
so
friend.
manipulative.
That's your friend, man. And why? I mean, it makes him look petty. And I'm just not sure, like, what that revelation really accomplishes. She's also criticized Lila Rose heavily, and she's kind of questioned Lila's military connections, I guess, because her husband is a veteran. She has questioned Alex Clark and Alex's decision to talk to the Wall Street Journal a week after Charlie was murdered. And Candace claimed that it would make her feel icky to speak to the media 1 week after Charlie's death. She did do a CNN interview a couple weeks after Charlie died, though. And I just want to say, like, I know Alex and Lila really well. I know Seth. I've known Ben over the years. I know Josh. And everything I know about these people is that they're kind and genuine people. And I don't believe that they deserve at all to be implicated in this way.
I don't believe that they deserve to be called out when they're lying. I think it's fine that they attacked her. I think it's fine that they lied on her. The ugly thing is when Candace stands up for herself and brings receipts. So she demands evidence. There's no evidence. I present the evidence. And then she says, you know what? Showing that text message from 7 years ago to prove that while Charlie was coming up, which is what I said, that's why it had to be from 7 years ago. Obviously, that's the crime. That doesn't make Charlie look good. You telling the truth and not allowing a bunch of people to grift after he dies by pretending they were friends with him and had no issues, people that literally tried to stop him from coming who he became, allowing Alex to just lie about where he was while you purport to be a friend of Charlie. You mysteriously didn't know about the mass stuff, the Catholic conversation. The issue is me telling the truth. That's what she's saying. And in every episode, and she's done many, she always uses the Bible, okay? She uses the Bible. So how could you question it? Do you not like the Bible? I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't like the Bible. Should I do that every episode? Should I say, I'm sorry if you don't like the Bible? I'm the Bible. So I just want to say, even these people that are lying, right? Well, the Bible says that I don't think it's fair for you to call out my friends when they're lying. That is naked tribalism to the Judeo-Christian cause. That is what she cares about. She is a Zionist, and she will defend people who are Zionists even when they're caught lying. And that is not friendship. That is dishonesty. And like I said, you should be ashamed of yourself to quote scripture, use scripture, manipulate well-meaning Christians to believe that it should be their Christian position to not call out lies, to not fight lies, to just allow them to happen. I don't like that at all. And like I said, I have special contempt for the people who come in the name of the Lord when they manipulate. That's worse than just hate it. You can hate me for free. You don't got to hold up a Bible when you do it.
It's
Take a
blasphemous.
quick break and I will get to some of your questions. All right. You know, I tell you that me and my team love
Okay. Allie Blaze. Do you guys watch her, or have you seen any other clips other than this from her? I get the same feeling, and most of the time, whenever I see anything from her, I just scroll past that. But yeah, we're not allowed to question, and we're wrong. We're demons. We're witches. We're stupid. We're being tricked. Telling the truth or what we believe is the truth for clicks. And, you know, I say we globally, the people who, you know, support what Candace is doing and who think that there's more to the story than what they're saying. Let's see. Siska says, I never saw her before. I'm not interested in her show. Yeah, me either. Mark Driscoll is another one who's quite nasty. There's another black pastor that I've seen on X. Is it Jordan Wells? It's Jordan Wells, I think Jordan is his first name. But he's another really nasty one. So, you know, the media has come out hard for Tim Pool. You know, like I said, TMZ had reported on Tim Pool and did a little thing that his claims that his property was shot out has been corroborated as true and factual, but they don't say anything about Candace. So we know that these are all coordinated, all of this. And like I said earlier, highly produced. And there's still some big questions that they're not answering. And I'll be interested to see if TPUSA answers the bigger questions on the 15th. Namely, Charlie Kirk feared for his life. Andrew Colvett warned Candace that she was in danger.
The top comment from last episode. This person wrote, Issa Rae wrote, Erika Kirk will forgive someone 1 week later for murdering her husband, but she won't forgive someone for not believing the FBI narrative. I saw a lot of people commenting that online, that the energy definitely feels different.
A lot of people were saying that online.
For people that want to get to the truth than it does for the person who she believes killed her husband. And I don't believe that is the person who pulled the trigger. I just don't. And you're allowed to disagree with Erika. You are. And that's fine. She's allowed to think what she thinks, and you're allowed to think what you think. That's what I want you guys to know. Don't allow this strategy to stop you from standing by your convictions. Butterfly writes, Candace, you mentioned several times that if Erika asked you to stop, you would, in fact, stop. Will you honor her request? Please stand by your word and honor what
Oh, good. I was hoping she would get to this.
Charlie left behind. Prayers to you. I was very clear here. Erika asked me to stop lying, and I will immediately abide by that request. You know, Candace is lying. What do you want to say? Please stop. Please stop lying. I understand. I comprehend. What I don't comprehend is what I've lied about. Have I made errors along the way? Yes. But as soon as she tells me what it is I've lied about, I will cease lying immediately. Further to that point, this person writes, the pro-Fed slop comments come in two flavors. One, you said you would stop if she asked, so stop. Two, she's jealous of Erika marrying Charlie. We see through this PR, keep pushing Candace. That's another thing that I want to say. It's very obvious to me that was part of like the dress rehearsal, right? Here's what you're going to do. You're going to say, stop, look into the camera and say, stop. And then we are going to have all of these paid influencers be like, look, Candace said she was, where's the stopping? And now we got all these bots saying it online. Again, it's obvious to everyone what this is. So why do you guys keep doing it? Like, was there a test that was done and you did see that it would take X amount of influencers to say the same thing and before someone broke? What's the purpose of this? It could not be more obvious. It's because you're doing too much. It's just like during COVID. You were just doing too much with the vaccines, right? Soon we're going to get that, by the way. The last thing we need, now that we've done the emotional, you're going to kill grandma. And why don't you care about grandma? Do you want grandma do you want grandma and grandpas to die? We are soon going to be offered stuff to stop talking about it. You know, when they give out coupons, they were, if you get the vaccine, free Popeyes. Don't go backs, free Popeyes. Who's lining up? Okay. We'll give you 50% off of McDonald's if you vax up. Okay. If you don't go max, that's what you're going to get. That seems to be the next. They got to give us a financial incentive to think that everything was above bar. It's so above bar, they won't do even the most basic things that they could really try to convince us. Speaking of discounts, if you want a regular copy of my book, Make Him a Sandwich, for 20% off, you can head to makehimasandwich.com. And we also ship to Canada signed copies, CandaceOwens.com. The book is available on Amazon. And yeah, I guess this Bari Weiss she's building like her career off of, what are you talking about? What are you actually talking about?
Yeah.
I already had a book. I already had the same merch. I had all of this
Everything
already happening. What is new here? What is actually new here? You're just saying stuff. You can't just say words. And it's sad that you need a teleprompter, by the way, Bari, for that. I mean, come on. You need a teleprompter for that. It's so performative and it's not passing the test for anybody, the gut check. We have a comment here from Alicia, Alicia Yance writes, most can only dream of a friendship like yours and CK. As you said in 2018, the story of me and CK will be one for the ages. My hope is that our story will be about smashing limitations, a story of loyalty, trust, and imprinting the world if fearless enough, end quote. I don't even know where I said that. That was the original Go Max. I love to see that clip. Yeah. By the way, to the earlier comment about seeing that too, she's jealous of Eric. Like, what are you talking about? When Charlie and I were hitting the road together, just so you guys know, here's a fun fact. I had a boyfriend. I had a whole boyfriend that entire time. It was just I was nowhere near Charlie's type and Charlie was nowhere near mine. Okay. That was just a little brother.
Yeah, they're saying that online, that she wanted to be Charlie's wife and she wanted TPUSA. And because she started Blexit and it didn't happen that the way she wanted to, then she got rid of that. And now there's rumors, and Tim Pool is spreading this rumor and talking about it. And he on his show, he says, I get tips too. Like, this is how incredibly jealous he is he's like, I get tips too. And the people in my tips box are saying, you know, anyways, Tim. They're saying that, sorry, I didn't finish my thought. They're saying that Candace hated Charlie behind the scenes and was telling people that she hated Charlie. I don't buy it. I don't believe it for a minute. I don't believe she thought that. I don't believe she felt that. Not for 1 second that she hated Charlie. And if she did, she would never say it to anyone outside of her inner circle.
Truly was a little brother, and we had a lot of fun together. So that is ridiculous. That weird push is reeking of similar desperation. Similar desperation, because I think we're getting close. I think this is all reaction, as some of you have pointed out in the comments from yesterday's episode, that suddenly we started talking about Pierre and that $1 billion incentive, and they went crazy. They started going max. So we should stay focused on our investigations. Cassie writes, I am sorry, but I am just not understanding Erika's responses. It does feel elite. People with power and money trying to hold on to something taped together with lies and deception, attacking people for asking valid questions. Yeah, it feels like they rule over us. And they don't care. They don't care at all. And they want us to know that they have these connections and that they know media honchos and that they have the best PR firms and that you're evil and you're demonic and for wanting to make $100 a day. If you're making videos on YouTube about ballistics, or thousands of dollars a day, if you're making videos talking about something that you're passionate about, which are state sanctioned lies, whether that be Brigitte, coming Brigitte series. And don't forget, coming Brigitte, Nobody was talking about that in the West, in the English speaking world. It's an obscure topic that I got passionate about. And what is Brigitte saying in court? What is he saying in court? Oh, she's doing this for money and clicks. It's always the same arguments, for money and for clicks. But when they make the videos accusing you of doing it for money and clicks, they're not doing that for money and clicks. They're doing that because, well, if you want to know about the Bible, if you don't want to know about biblical stuff, that's what I'm here for. My content's not for you. My content is simply not for you. Okay? I will find a proverb. I'll pluck a proverb from the Bible and start using that. Maybe that will make it make sense for some people. If I'm a fraud and I say, oh, well, what we can extrapolate from this biblical text is that 30-06s don't stop human necks, then you just have to accept it because it becomes biblical. I have a comment here from Diane. She writes, why did they have to tell us the color of Tyler's shirt, maroon? Why was that important to highlight? I didn't even think about that at the time, but there is obviously an angle here, and we are still working on it, that the Maroon Boys, as I pointed out, and they're now trying to say, that's so crazy. And apparently they also mentioned the Maroon Boys in Erika's propagandized piece that's going to come out with Bari Weiss. They're going to mention the Maroon Boys because their strategy is, that's just so crazy. But all the men in the military are like, no, Candace, that's not crazy at all. That represents Air Force. And also that 10th Brigade, it turns out their color, the 10th Mountain Brigade, maroon. So we're on the right track and we're going to keep pushing. You can't keep calling everybody crazy and thinking that that wins the argument. Laughter, elite laughter, like they're just in their private clubs, like, maroon shirts, Egyptian planes. It's elitist and scrappy. Anyways, you guys, there is a documentary that is available on our website, What a Woman Is. And it's it goes right along with the book that I wrote, when you learn the history of feminism. And I say this as someone who thought I was a feminist when I was young. Then I learned the history and where it comes from and witchcraft and all of this stuff. It's quite stunning. I'm going to show you guys a little preview from this documentary, What a Woman Is. Take a listen.
It's been answered simply, a woman is not a man. But in our age, it's never been answered with any specificity what a woman actually is.
The main thing that people need to grasp is that patriarchy is reality. You have no choice between patriarchy and no patriarchy.
Feminism is one of the key elements they had to do first to bring about all the other revolutions. So whether it's the 60s countercultural revolution or whether it's the biological trans revolution, all of that had to be preceded by the feminist revolution first.
In marriage, the reason you can't have mutual submission is because there will be times in which decisions have to be made in which the wife and the husband do not necessarily agree. This is why ultimately, in the end, the husband has to be the head of the household and make the final decision.
Scripture does not give us a safe place from the directives of God.
So any woman who's truly feminine, according to a feminist, is degraded.
Are you interested in knowing what the truth is? Are you willing to submit to the truth? Now you need to be ready to change whatever plans you think you had. You have to decide what kind of woman you want to be.
You know, I wrote the book Making a Sandwich because once I started looking into the history of feminism, I was shocked. If you are a feminist or you're like, oh, I always thought it was about equality between the sexes, which is what I thought. That was my default public school setting. Dig deeper. Challenge yourself to learn the history of the feminist movement, and what he is saying there is true. That was the first revolution that had to happen in order for all of the other ones that came behind it. And of course, it is government sanctioned, CIA, actually a lot of homosexual men that are behind it, if I'm being explicit. Anyways, that documentary is now available on our website. It is free, obviously, if you are already subscribed. And if you want to just watch that and not subscribe, maybe it's not a good economic time for you, you can just watch that on pay-per-view for $1.99 if you're not a subscriber. Okay, just a couple more comments here that I am going to read. Jen Marquez writes, my contribution to your hundreds and thousands of dollars per video. TPUSA's response to all of this is feeling very trust the science. And the cast is just as likable and believable as Fauci himself. Go Max, we're behind you, praying for you always. Thank you for saying that. I also want to be clear, my beef is not with Erika. That is what they're pushing now, that if you question it, you're up against Erika. I've been the same Candace since I got.
Except I feel like Erika's making it with Candace. So I think they're trying to suck Candace into that. And Erika, even though she won't say Candace's name, seems like it's directly with Candace. It just feels that way to me.
Into politics, right? When I stood up to my own community regarding BLM, it's so much like this happening right now. I feel like I'm standing up to my own conservative community in a way because what we were told just wasn't true. It wasn't true. And the government was involved in hiding the facts. And the people that were benefiting the most were inside of the very charity that called themselves Black Lives Matter. And they were implicated. They were implicated in greed and corruption and lying and misrepresenting facts because they were motivated by the wrong thing. So same Candace, new year, same Candace, different topic. I'm always standing up to, I guess, pop culture. And that's what they're trying to say. Like TPUSA is now popular because we have enough money to make it so. I don't care. I've never been mainstream. I've constantly been swimming against the mainstream my entire life. Like I said to Charlie in that message, I've always felt like an alien. I don't understand the rules here. I don't know why it's required that I be fake and gay to live on this planet, okay? But I can't do it. I spiritually can't do it. So what is next? What is the next thing? We've done the fake Bible stuff. Now we're doing the grieving widow. How dare you, Greta Thunberg? How dare you question anything? We've done the evil, demonic. We've done everything. What is next, guys? Okay? We'll figure it out. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. So what do you guys think? Okay, so Cisco, I don't think Erika really knows what to do or say. She's being guided, poorly guided. And Jeff says, yeah, it's too obvious she's being handled. You know, I don't know if I think Erika's that innocent. I don't. But yes, TPUSA is losing ground. And I think they are telling Erika, you have to ratchet this up. You have to save this party. Charlie would do it. I mean, they're invoking the name of Charlie every turn. Every turn, they are invoking his name to make sure that people know this is what Charlie wanted. We're doing what Charlie wanted. We're doing what Charlie wanted. And this is Charlie. This is Charlie. This is Charlie. So I haven't been wanting to get his book. I think I'm going to get the audio version and listen to it on speed, fast forward or at fast speed so that I can find out what it's about. Because also the thing that hasn't happened is Erika hasn't admitted anything about where Charlie stood in his faith and where he stood on Israel. She's really pushing this book. My guess is that it has a lot to do with Israel and that agenda. So, and I think, I don't know, you know, I'm going to look at those videos again. So there were certain points where I felt like she looked frightened. So, yeah, I don't know that I believe Erika isn't heading up some of this. There was another video I was queuing up to show you guys, and it didn't upload to my computer. But in 2016, she was at a Trump rally, and there was some people there that they were questioning. So I wanted to research that too and look. But one of them was Tyler Boyer, who was in that. So I don't know. I think we keep going. We keep going and keep looking for answers and don't let up and keep speaking. So I think that's all we can do. I had wanted to show you guys this. Let's see, image file. Let's see. I had AI make this for me. Is it going to let me? Let's see, add to stage. Because this is truly what's happening. The elites behind the gate, all the countries calling the shots. The Democrats, the Republicans on either side, the money and control and the power and the greed, pushing everything forward through those gates. That's where we're at. And that's what we're fighting against. It has to be. So I'm glad you all are here with me. I'm glad you're here with Candace. I'm glad you're with America First. We'll keep putting up the good fight. Oh, that video with Erika in the background. So anyways, thank you for being here. Please hit subscribe and the notification bell. As I told you earlier, if you weren't here, I wanted to let you know that Candace doesn't lose out on any revenue, because whatever revenue is generated during the me doing the watch party gets diverted directly to her. So it's not harming her in any way whatsoever. Somebody had made a comment that they were concerned about that. So I wanted to address that. And I have sent messages and making her aware that I'm doing this, and for good reasons. There's a lot of other people who are actually doing it to try to tear her down. So anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. I look forward to seeing you next time. She's usually not on Friday, so I'm not planning to be on. If I get a notification and I'm able to go on Friday tomorrow, then I'll do that, and I'll see you all there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. See you later. See you soon. Bye-bye.